Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Kicking It Forward podcast, where we're continuing our servant leadership series. And I'm so excited to be interviewing the one and only Leilani Guion at Troy University. Leilani is not just an artist on the court, but also off the court, as well as a servant leader off the court. Leilani, how you feeling? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How is yourself?
I am living the dream, doing so much better now that I'm talking to you. So, Leilani, I want you really quick before we kind of get into everything. I mentioned that you were an artist and you had a very interesting thing that you painted. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we recently had a fundraiser for our school for women's basketball, and so it's just a big night where people come out and we just kind of just paint. And so while everybody was painting pumpkins and following the instructor, I decided I wanted to paint a big oak tree on my charcuterie board. So that's my project that I'm working on right now, trying to finish that up.
Got it. Very cool. Very cool. The fact that you could say charcuterie without without skipping a beat. That's amazing too. But you are one of our servant leaders. Congratulations on that. And I've got to ask you, what does servant leadership mean to you?
Servant leadership means to me just, putting others before myself. I feel like if you can go out of your way to help others, then, that's just a way to make somebody else's day better and to just, help them in ways that you may not even know that they need. Somebody could very well be having a bad day and you may not notice, and you just do one small thing for them. It could change the whole aspect of how they're seeing their day and their mood. So I think just being able to be there for others and to serve others is great. And I mean, that's what God does for his people. So, I want to follow in his footsteps as best as I can.
That's amazing. And thank you for that. Now, what brought about that spirit? Because, people say things about, the younger generation, if you will, and maybe some distractions that you all might have, but you have the heart of a servant leader and the character of a servant leader. Where did that come from?
I would just say like from my parents, like from a young age, just seeing how, they took care of their kids and, they're always serving their kids. And, I did a lot as a kid. Like I was a Girl Scout. I wanted to play basketball. I played volleyball at one point. I played flag football at one point. So it was like my parents were always like running around, taking me places, doing things for me. And then I think just even like when I got to the JUCO level, just seeing the type of person my head coach was. My coach was MJ Baker at Eastern Florida State College, and she just gave her all to each and every player. And even having three kids as well, like she was always there for us, always giving us things and making sure we were just secure in everything that we did. So I feel like I've had a lot of just influence and role models around me that were servant leaders, and so I just wanted to be like them, and I wanted to serve others.
That's a beautiful thing. And let's talk a little bit about your transition from the junior college level to D1. Was that the plan going in, or did you just go there, ball out, and then you got an opportunity?
I think the plan for everybody is kind of, you want to play high school ball and then you want to go D1. And unfortunately for me, I had tore my ACL my junior year of high school. And so those D1 offers that I did have those junior year, I kind of just, washed away. And so I was able to get the opportunity to, go to Eastern Florida State College. And I spent 3 years there because of the 2020 COVID year. I got an extra year to play. So I spent my 3 years there, and I was able to enhance my skills and really just build on some things that weren't so great when I first got there, and especially my character as well. And so like the transition from JUCO to D1 wasn't necessarily like a just like a bad or rough transition. It was actually pretty smooth. And I had my challenges my first year at Troy, but other than that, like with the coaching staff and everything like that, they're very helpful and supportive in those things. And so it's gotten me to the point that I am now, and I'm proud of who I've become for sure.
For sure. We're proud of you too. And the fact that you had to go that route, how do you think that that contributes to you being a servant leader?
I think it's just a lot of experience, a lot of dealing with, teammates and like players with, different attitudes and, perspectives on how they see things, and just really like learning how to deal with certain types of players, and, knowing how to approach them about things and how not to approach them, and to just how they like to be supported as well. So like you get a lot of experience and you learn a lot of things when you go JUCO. And I think it's just a factor of like, people always say JUCO kids work harder, and it's like you kind of have to, because it's just this narrative that like all JUCO players, like they had to go JUCO. They weren't necessarily D1 players. In reality, we are. We just wanted to take a different path, or had to take a different path to, get better and get to that, elite level of being D1.
Well, you're here. So you obviously worked hard and have done some great things. When you think of yourself as a leader, some leaders are vocal, Leilani, like they're in your face and then they're going to let you know what it is and what it isn't right there on the spot. Then you've got other leaders that just kind of lead by example. What would you say your leadership style is?
Um, I think that I'm a little bit in the middle. I'm a little bit both. I've definitely, had to lead with my voice a lot, and I've learned how to be better with my voice. Sometimes I used to get too passionate, and I would come off a little aggressive, a little angry, and so like I've had to learn how to tone down and how to speak to people, and so like that's been a lot of growth in that area, and then also just going out on the court and trying to be consistent every day, whether it's in a game or in practice, going hard, because like at the end of the day, you have your teammates, you have your coaches watching you. And like if you're going hard every day, you're setting an example.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, this is just a question that I have. This doesn't have anything to do with servant leader. Really? Well, maybe it does a little bit. What do y'all say now? Like when y'all get hype or momentum and all that stuff? Because like back in my day, we used to say like "Let's go" or something of that nature. Like what do y'all say? Do y'all have a
I
saying?
mean, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like, let's go, come on, like, or we be like, we here, like that's one thing we say, like we here, like and stuff like that. But I mean, it's we gotta flex on, gotta show the muscles, all that, pump the chest, something like that.
Cool. Okay. I was just making sure things haven't changed that much. Now, when we're talking about on the court, I want you to just list your five favorite players to watch. Not necessarily who you think the GOAT is or anything like that, but your favorite players to watch.
Favorite players to watch, not in any order. But I could say like obviously Steph Curry, because I mean the man just shoots the lights out every night. Like he's always gonna do something like crazy, magical. I would say probably Anthony Edwards, just the fire and the passion he brings to the game, and like how he's always talking, but he can back it up. Um, on the women's side, I really like Asia Wilson. I mean, four-time MVP. It's hard not to want to watch her. And then also like Jackie Young. I feel like, that's a great player to play. The quiet assassin, like love her game. And then one more player. I would say I'll probably say Wimby, just because like he's like 7'11". Like he's like 7'11". He's so long, but just the things he's able to do with the ball, even just at that height, his ability to dribble and just like score the basketball is amazing.
For sure, absolutely. And so as we're winding this interview down, I want you to list your leadership dream team. So and I want to put it in this kind of frame. A group of people, five people that you would love it if they could advise you on your life. So this could be people from your family, this could be people that, have coached you or people throughout history. Who are those people?
They technically have to be alive.
Nope.
Uh, well, I'm gonna say my JUCO coach, MJ Baker, absolutely. Um, I want to say my assistant coach here now at Troy, Stephanie Murphy. Um, I would say, my coach, that he had passed away in 2020, unfortunately, but he was a really big like guide for me. So Demetrius Johnson for number three. And then I have to say my parents, like my mom and my dad, Latoya and Rashard Guy, absolutely, they've been leading me my entire life. So, I have to put them in there for sure.
That's amazing. That's a great group. And as a servant leader, again, I want to just thank you for being who you are and showing up with the morals, with the character, and with the values that embody everything that the award is about. And wear that patch proudly as you go throughout the year.
Absolutely. Thank you.
For sure. And for those of you watching, those of you listening, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you listen to some of our other servant leader episodes and also some of our survivor episodes as well. I'm Odell Bazell. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.